This first, this first processing modality is auditory. Do you require the instructions to know what's being said? How do you remember most of what's said in class? Are you remembered based upon hearing? I mean, can you be doing other things while you're in class and remembered mostly based upon what's said? We have a pictorial here. Anybody care to guess what this might mean? You got a guy here with some thoughts going on in his head. Any idea? Anybody care to give a guess as what this learning style might be?
I would think that that is a visual learner.
All right, let's see. Well, this one really is to represent conceptual in the sense that trying to put the pieces together to understand what's going on. So the question being, do you understand the point that the teacher is making when they're in the process of explaining? But in that it comes through the eyes, that's sort of a clue that it requires the eyes, that some conceptual typically will require some component of visual. So in essence, you are correct. But the purpose of this was to develop the concept. Like myself, I'm a conceptual learner. I mean, you can tell me a whole bunch of stuff, and like I said, I'm going to stop and ask questions until I get the concept. I'm clear as to what the big picture is. Then I can hone in on the details to be able to then put it in order in terms of importance, relative less importance, etc., and be able to, put that information to memory. Anybody care to tell me what this might represent? Take a stab at it.
Movement.
Very good. Movement. So this is kinesthetic. Some people need to move around in order to be able to take in information. Some people need to walk. Those of you who go to meetings as adults, you see people in the back of the room just constantly walking around the room. And those are some of those kinesthetic folks. They need to walk around to be able to take in the information. Even though they're hearing it or even seeing it, they require that movement to be able to take it to memory. Others of you, in fact, many of us, the younger students as well, will take notes. That too is considered kinesthetic. Some people draw or doodle. You can tap your pencil to concentrate any kind of movement. Shaking your leg. Those are the kinds of things that you produce using a combination of those learning styles, which would be the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic to be able to process information. This is the visual schematic. Some people actually need to see the object to concentrate or comprehend. Does seeing it, as Eden discussed, make it easier for you to learn? Do you have to hear it as well? Do you need to say it out loud? So, we're clearly seeing that these learning styles go in combinations, and it will vary from individual to individual. Anyone care to think what this one might be?
Verbal.
Very good. Yes, you need to talk to work things out and have those feelings. Some people, even past, third, fourth grade, will softly read to themselves in order to be able to understand and to remember things that they're reading. Others actually will literally talk out loud, or they have to say it in order to retain that concept. So does explaining it to someone else help to increase your understanding of memory? That works for some people as well. They got a whole bunch of faces here. This is probably the hardest one of all, and that's emotional. Some folks really have to, and that emotion is tied to interest. if they really are able to feel a strong sensitivity, a strong interest in something, they can have an emotional attachment to it. And these are those emotional learners. And particularly folks with ADHD like myself, it has to be interesting or I get easily bored. And that may be true for some of the others of you as well. So you must be interested in the topic of the conversation to be able to recall it. This is intuitive, or intuition. You have this spontaneous insight. Sometimes it comes in sort of flashes. You are just compelled to act on it. And this is when things just sort of pop into your head, when you have that hunch. And people really have to learn to trust that intuition. It becomes very important. And as you trust that intuition, then you trust your gut and your feeling in terms of around life in general. But with regards to learning styles, this is a way that some people are able to put it together in a logical format that they intuitively figure out that this piece matches with this piece and that this is part of a bigger piece. Touching. So this is the tactile sensation. Some people actually have to feel or touch an object to be able to learn. That could be as simple as using your finger to read along the edge of a page that helps you to understand and be able to take in the information that you're reading. It could involve actually taking notes. That too is tactile. But in order for you to be able to touch it, you've got to take it in either visually or auditorily in addition, so that the three learning styles will then be working together to help that person or the individual to learn. The references I used for this came from my coaching course, ADD, from ADD Coaching Academy, the Personal Transformation course. And as a good resource for any of you and your students, I would recommend checking out the khanacademy.org website. They have education for children from elementary school. Actually, it started with kindergarten through college. And there's a new section called Career Navigation, which prepares you in terms of for the interview, as well as the negotiations for a salary in when you're getting a job. So it's very, very helpful. And through college, it covers almost most of the major academic areas, with the exception of, say, the social sciences, which primarily will involve reading anyway.